adult politics, well, yes, you may have heard and perhaps read also about matters published here and there, even if you happen to be there. I mean, you heard a lot about what's going on. But that's what we focus on this time, and perhaps hear a lot more from, if I may say, the horse's mouth. Depends on what I mean by that, isn't it? Well, Kassim Afegbua joins us now. He's the Director, Media and Publicity, Oshiomhole Campaign Organisation. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, sometimes when people read matters either in print or the internet, and of course they will leave with certain impression, especially when they haven't actually heard what's going on. We heard about the accident threat, we heard about the killings, we heard about so much going on. And then one can only ask, I mean, I know they say actions and reactions are equal and opposite. Could action from a certain camp have given rise to extreme reaction from another camp?
A combination of all of that. Oh. Well, it's quite unfortunate that Edo State politics has come to this level of obvious threats and intimidation and threat to life and deliberate distractions, you know, outside what politicking or real politics should be, you know. At the Oshiomhole Campaign Organization, we had insisted, you know, ab initio that we wanted issue-based campaign to the extent that the candidates will canvass issues that will help to move the state forward from where it is. But if you look at all the news flying around from Edo State, there was this allegation of 10.8 billion naira mansion. From there, the accident, orchestrated accident. From there, assassination of the principal private secretary of the Communist governor. So all of this point to, you know, certain conclusion that perhaps the PDP, as it were, wants power at all costs. That's our own reading of the situation. And we have made allegations, and we have pointed our accusing fingers at the PDP. And we wanted them to disabuse the minds of the people and even disabuse our minds that they don't have a hand in all of this.
With all the assurance, you're pointing your fingers at the PDP?
Yeah, we pointed accusing fingers at them because in all of this incident, PDP has been playing the role of an eyewitness.
Really? How?
Yes. When the accident happened, if you read the reports they issued, they told us that the governor drove himself. They told us that the governor was drunk. They told us that the vehicle lost control, and it was the governor who lost control, and the truck driver, the tipper driver was trying to avoid head-on collision with the governor. That's an eyewitness account. They were not in the convoy.
It can be hearsay.
So, what hearsay? If it's hearsay, you wait for the appropriate authorities to make those kind of positions. Those are very fundamental positions and conclusions drawn by the PDP. And so we said, okay, since you know too much, please volunteer further information to the Nigerian police.
Is that why you say it's an orchestrated accident? If
you look at the pattern or the way and manner the accident happened, you will believe. Barely 10 minutes before they just left a rally and they were driving to Auchi. And the truck driver was headed straight for the flag car, which ordinarily should be the vehicle the governor will be riding on. So trying to avoid that flag car, he hit at the rear, hit the jeep at the rear. It went into the bush, somersaulted 3 times. That was conveying about 7 to 8 security details of the governor. So perhaps the driver did not contemplate that the governor would be in a smaller vehicle. And so that resulted in all, you know, multiple accidents and head-on collision and what have you. And when there was an inquiry of the motor boy, they call them motor boy, he said the driver didn't tell him where they were going, just said, get into the vehicle, let's go out.
Or they were apprehended?
Yes. The driver initially ran away, but later apprehended, and as we speak, he's receiving treatment and also is also in police watch.
But that's just not the first time we've seen accident of such in that area of Edo State. It's a hilly or slopey area, and times without numbers, vehicles have lost control on that spot. So why would the ACN...
Except you want to play the role of the PDP here as also as an eyewitness.
Why would
it wasn't a slope, it was a straight road. And the scene of the accident was a straight road. No slope, no hill, nothing.
Assuming this accident did not happen, excuse me, at this particular time in this particular year, maybe it happened maybe 2 years ago, would we be saying that, you know, this is an orchestrated accident?
It depends on the tenor. You see, you have just said assuming, so that's also at the realm of hypothesis. But from the readings and from the information we've been gathering, we've been shouting loud. Nigerians don't seem to be listening to us. We've been shouting and crying loud that there are obvious threats in Edo State from the opposition PDP. Meetings are being held, we've been getting feedback, security reports, listed some persons who they sell are, you know, condemned for elimination. They have listed quite a number of names, and we have handed over such names to the police and all of that.
Really?
Yes, and look at the one just happened. You know, nobody knew that they would go for a light. Huh? There are several of them. Louis Ojo, the Commissioner for Information, raised alarm. People thought he was joking. Went to his house.
What we read in the papers that his life is in
Yes,
danger?
yes.
He can't
stay in his house now. Yes, they went to his house, tie up his security man and all that, and they were shouting, "Where's the commissioner? Where's the commissioner?" Thank God he didn't sleep at home that day, and he left the governor about 1:30 a.m. in the early morning of that day. It's quite disturbing. As I speak to you, people have been calling me, "Oh, come back home, come back to Abuja. We don't want you to be in policy." Even my family, my immediate family, you know, everybody's expressing worry and concern just because of desperation to take power. And we have told the PDP that it is not the fault of the ACN that you choose an unpopular candidate. It is not the fault of the ACN that you choose an unsellable candidate, or you choose a candidate who has no antecedents of performance or achievements. The current governor is coming from an advantaged position, while the PDP is coming from a disadvantaged position, because the government will tell you, this is what I have done in the area of roads, schools, and all of that. The PDP has nothing to show. Rather than convince Edo people to say, okay, this is my blueprint that will be better than that of Comrade, so that we can engage the public in discourse. They won't do that. They're causing unnecessary distractions.
You know, and whatever concerns loss of lives is a very serious matter.
Very serious.
And whoever is suspected, I mean, people have a right to say, well, I think this is who I think it is, but then they go to the police. How does the police come in here? Because the utterances and the response and the responsibility of the police is very key here. Anybody can allege, but the police authorities, have you approached them? What are they doing about this matter? Any constant feedback?
When Olaiton died in the early hours of Friday, such a very painful scenario, very painful incident, because we closed later about 8 p.m. Thursday. We worked together, we ate together almost that day, and only for us to wake up on Friday and we heard of that incident. We were quite pained. And when he died, that early morning, by 7, 8 o'clock, thousands of ACN supporters assembled at the campaign office of Oshiomhole in GRA. And having issued a statement, we had to march to the police headquarters to tender our grievances and petition to the Commissioner of Police, Balogun, and told him that nobody has monopoly of violence. But because people choose to behave in a civilized manner, it is the responsibility of the police to look into this issue critically and bring the culprits to book. Thereafter, the governor issued a 14-day ultimatum to the police. When we left the police, we staged another march to the airport to receive the governor, and the governor joined in that whole crowd to go around the major streets of Benin. We trekked up to Oba Market, went to Ring Road and all of that. Everybody in black, protesting the death of that young man. Brilliant young man who has come to add value to development in Edo State. And that was the only way we could register our protest, And it is now the responsibility of the security apparatus, SSS, police, to take the right decision by going into the nitty-gritty of this issue, carry out an investigation, and come out. Those who have information can volunteer them, but we know the nature of Nigerian assassination cases. Results are always not coming. Unresolved murder cases are legion in the country, so we will not say we are losing hope or we will lose hope, but we are believing that the police will have the capacity to, for once, address this very peculiar
I'm
issue.
quite sure your Campaign Organization should be impressed and happy with what the presidency has said regarding unresolved murders in Edo State. We also remember the young man that was cut down in his prime during leading up to the last elections in that particular state. He has asked the CP to look into the killing of Olaito and as well open the books of previous cases of murder. Is the ACN satisfied with that?
Statements are bound to come from presidency. And don't forget that my antecedent also, I'm not a friend of the Jonathan administration because with all due sense of responsibility, I want statements to be backed with action. I've heard and listened to a series of statements since this administration came on stream, and I've not seen concrete action done. But we are not going to lose hope. If, just like the governor said, 14-day expire, we don't get results, then we will seek other solutions. There are people who have the fourth eye. They will also help us to look into the matter. Because it is so painful that Olaito from Osun State, could come to work in Edo and the guy is cut down. You need to know him. He's not a politician. This is, call him a gentleman by every standard. He cuts across everybody. Nobody, since he died, nobody has said, oh, this guy was this, was that, and all that. And as we speak, his remains has been taken to Edo for burial.
I know, yes, it can be, of course, painful to lose such a person. But if, in the light of what you've said about the history of unresolved murders in the country, 2-week ultimatum, can that work? And then you say, after the 2 week, we resort to alternative means. What other means is there, if not the police investigate and come to a conclusion about the matter? Because some people will feel threatened.
The governor has, placed 10 million naira gift to anyone who could volunteer information.
Is that part of the alternative means?
Yeah, no, yes, part of it, and you'll be surprised that we'll be getting good lead. We hope, we are very hopeful. Because individual spirit also have a way of also unfolding themselves.
Yeah, but what about the fact that if you say in 2 weeks, if you don't come up with something, we'll resort to other means, and something unfortunate happens?
Other means doesn't mean go and kill. We will not dwell on bloodletting to win elections in Edo State. Oshiomhole is too popular to be engaged in this kind of mundane and pedestrian, indulgences that has become the second nature of the PDP. And I say this with all sense of responsibility. The characters in the PDP, we know them, and we know their antecedents. It's quite unfortunate that it's coming at this time of elections. We have told them, if you want to campaign, bring out your blueprint. There's no hard and fast way about this. If you have your blueprint, if the man says, if Oshiomhole says, I've renovated 130 schools, and you say you will do that within 2 years, and you say you will renovate 150 schools, tell us how you are going to do it. Because it's only when you canvass issues at electionary campaigns that you'll be making, or appealing to the conscience of the ordinary voter. But here we are, a party that was opportune to govern the state for 10 solid years with, records of underperformance. The state was decayed, social infrastructure broken down, and quality of life, nothing to write home about. I started with Comrade Governor from inception as Chief Press Secretary. And we saw the state that was handed over to him. It was nothing to write home about. It is not for nothing that you see the palace is giving support to the Comrade Governor, because since development, nobody knew that dual carriageway could exist in Benin City before now. Go there, you see dual carriageways everywhere, you see street lights, nightlife has returned. This man is working, is performing. So if you want to, convince your electorate that they should not vote for a man who is working, you are traveling on the same road that the man has fixed, you are drinking the water that the man has provided, you are enjoying the real infrastructure.
One thing that the PDP always raises when it comes to certain developmental issues is the cost. Are you being transparent with the cost of actually doing some of these projects? I believe that the contracts are overinflated, that Edo State is being thrown into debt ahead of, the future generation will have many years of debt to repay.
It's amusing.
Are these not valid fears?
It's amusing when when the PDP talks about issue of the cost, issue of debt. When they were there, when they called the shots, why didn't they perform so that people could also accuse them? If you want to produce something of quality, you must pay for it. There is this, I'm used to this analogy. If you want to buy cheap clothes, you go out to a Bender boutique, go and pick. Of course, you know the lifespan of Bender boutique. It won't take you anywhere. But if you want, like the one you are wearing now, customized dress, this kind of fabric, you have to pay for it. Look at Chamberlain, the way he's looking. This suit he's putting on is different from the one that the Bender boutique person will put. So you pay more for good quality.
You'll be very surprised the quality of things you will get down in Bender boutique. That's a different issue.
But,
not to take anything away from
that is second hand. Second hand also. The common government is giving first hand good quality road network. You see, the history of road construction in Edo State has been such that after 6 months, these roads are washed away by erosion because the soil is naturally loose. So erosion is one danger in Benin City and its environs, and some other roads. So the common governor say instead of doing wishy-washy road, he would rather do a quality road that will live his administration and at least 20 years guarantee.
The question, sir, sorry. The question is, at what cost? At what cost? And are we being transparent with
it? Very transparent. There's due process, there's procurement. In fact, they have domiciled the procurement law in Edo State. Edo State was Assembly passed the procurement law. And so that is what is being followed. Tenders have been done in broad daylight. But of course, the PDP will cry blue mother because perhaps maybe they are used to be contractors, big-time contractors.
Not that, because if you've been following what the chairman of the PDP has been saying in Edo State, Dan Obi, he's been very particular about the way and manner the government, the ACN government in Edo State spends the state's resources.
They don't have information.
Because if they don't have information, have you given them the information? He has always asked about the ways and manner they spend money in the state.
They don't have
until this moment. The ACN hasn't given them all of what
they don't have information. And if they want information, they should write. In line with Freedom of Information Act, they will get response. It is better for you to ask if you don't know than to be churning out very, very obscure statistics that you cannot defend. I give you a typical example. When they came up with the issue of 10.8 billion naira, mansion, I was beginning to wonder that should be a castle out of this world. 10.8 billion? My God. They said the common governor took 25 billion naira from the bond. They don't even know that money is almost been paid. The remaining money is about 8 billion naira. They don't know. So people just come up, turn out information. Go to Yamo. The land there is free for anybody to exploit. I was thinking they were going to accuse the common governor of building skyscrapers in Scandinavia Island or in Snake Island in Lagos, where even the plot alone will cost about 500 million naira. But here, where the land is built for people to come and exploit. Somebody is trying to expand his house and do some landscaping, and with a 3-bedroom duplex, and you say that is 10.8 billion naira? My God, that's quite alarming. So we have told them that propaganda is only useful and meaningful if you are stating the obvious and giving a reason why it should not be. It is not when you come out and churn out statistics that don't exist in this planet. So that's what baffles me. Okay. And we have challenged them that if 10.8 billion naira is what they are talking about, we also know these persons to also be public officers before now. The house, the property of Chief Atodani in Benin and in Uromi was allegedly built by Julius Berger. And go there is more than 3 billion naira. But nobody is talking about this because they feel that this is. And don't forget that sometimes they go 300 billion naira, they were accusing of mismanaging 300 billion naira road budget, which has continued to haunt him till date. So it is easier for people to point accusing fingers. But what we are saying is that if you come up with superior figures or argument, then you'll be appealing to
will there ever be a debate between or amongst the candidates in Edo State? Because the way it is, you go online, as Chamberlain rightly said, it has even gone messier with so many other things you get to see, unprintable things you get to see online. Would you be willing to go have a public debate?
You should ask the PDP that question, because I told you they are coming from a disadvantaged position. The current governor is an orator. He's a man who understands, he understands the state, and statistics are at the tip of his fingers. He knows what he has done, his intervention in education, in health sector, in roads, rural infrastructure, even the Benin Water Storm project. He has a lot of achievements going for him. So if we call debate tomorrow, he will be ready to appear. And we'll be happy if Channels Television can start up this, because it's one of the essential ingredients of democracy. Let the people know what or the caliber of people they are voting for.
But they are candidates, because we came across him when I think it was on TV. He was talking about the fact that the ACN candidate is misinforming the people about his time while he was in service in the army. He says the ACN candidate said he was dismissed. And he says, come on, you're at that helm of that position. You should know that he was not dismissed, and that he left meritoriously.
Why has he not taken the ACN candidate to court? Somebody told me that Nigeria big men don't like going to court because you see the other side of them. It's a matter of going to court. If you're not dismissed from the house, if you didn't negotiate your retirement or anything, you go to court. It's as simple as ABC. So I wrote a piece in my column in Vanguard, and they went around town and said that they were going to sue me and all that. And I'm still waiting for that person to take me to court. For Charles, he's my friend, but on this issue we differ. Because he's coming into Edo politics aspiration to be governor at the wrong time. He said he retired or resigned or voluntarily retired from the army in July 11, 2001. It's not even up to a year. And he was given a waiver and all of that in the normal PDP fashion. And people say he has deep pockets. And so maybe perhaps people want to also enjoy from that deep pocket.
But let's leave the opposition and talk about the ACN. How did you arrive? How did you come about your primaries? Even though they say it was a consensus agreement to bring the current governor for re-election, you still went ahead to do your primaries.
Yes, naturally, you have to fulfill the requirements of the law. You have to, engage in primaries. Let people endorse you. Let people vote for you, and all of that. And that was what the ACN did. And they voted for him. The votes were counted, and results were announced, so that you fulfill all requirements. Everybody. Of course, there were no other aspirants in the party, but the PDP will always tell you that they were muzzled out. How do you want to contest with a man who has turned Edo State to a construction site? The man who is busy working every day. You can't compete with Gomre's energy.
But
he was a young man.
You're losing some party membership, isn't it? Some just decamped to the opposition.
Let us not talk. You see, how you know those who are losing primaries, party members, is when you view Comrade's campaign flag off in Edo South, Benin, at the Museum Center, some 4 or 5 days ago, under heavy downpour. You see thousands of party faithfuls waiting for 4 good hours to listen to Comrade Governor speak. You know that you can't hire such a crowd. So those who are saying that they are losing membership to opposition, they just arrange some of their members and they'll say they were formerly ACN, they'll give them broom and all of that. It's all bullshit.
But you sound as though the governor can never lose in these forthcoming elections. But everybody can never be satisfied with performance. That's human nature.
But the doctrine of democracy is simple majority wins the election. Sarkozy and Hollande, simple majority. What are you talking about?
That means he can lose also.
1% will make him win.
But it's a possibility that he can lose also.
Not when there's free and fair election. Not in Edo State. And we are saying with every sense of conviction that come rain, come shine, we will meet PDP man for man, vote for vote.
Is the PDP the only party that disturbs
it's a dominant party in
so all other parties don't really count, really?
No, when you are contesting for election, you see dominant parties. In this case, 2 dominant parties, the ruling party, the ACN, and the dominant opposition, the PDP. Among the other persons who are contesting, none of them has raised issues as frivolous as the PDP has done. So we don't have problem with those
When
ones.
did politics begin to get this bitter and even violent in Edo State?
That's the question you should be asking the opposition. That's the question, because we keep wondering. You see,
but you're the one accusing the opposition, so that is why we expect.
No, we are not accusing them out of.
Because it started with the accident.
No, listen,
which
we are not accusing.
They will call an accident.
My brother, it's so painful to lose 3 of our colleagues. So painful to me, and I took time out to sit back and say, what could have warranted this kind of, if you know how narrowly the governor escaped, you will know that. This is quite. There was no vehicle coming apart from that vehicle.
They are our colleagues. They are journalists. They are our colleagues.
VIP movement on the highway. VIP movement on the highway. If that driver with the siren blowing VIP convoy, even if you lose control, you swerve into the bush, not swerve into a VIP convoy. No sane man No sane person will veer, a driver will veer into a VIP convoy, even if you are losing control. It's a mechanical, your steering is still working. Even if your brake fails, you will swerve into the bush, not swerving into a VIP convoy. That's why we say it's orchestrated. So I will still stand by our position.
So the PDP is just an endangered opposition in Edo State because everything is taken out on the PDP.
Well, because by their character, by their conduct, we have seen them.
Unproven
character. As I speak to you now, we have also received security reports. Yesterday, that 2 meetings were held. Don't forget that, as politicians, we have our ears and eyes everywhere. 2 meetings were held, and certain persons have also been penciled down for elimination. One of them is Johnny Oguma, a member House of Assembly, representing Esako Central, the local government of the chief of staff to the president.
And when armed robbers attacked him, you people
don't
said
say
it was
armed
an
robbers.
assassination
Don't say
attempt.
armed robbers. Don't say armed robbers. When people just come out from nowhere and they start raining bullets on your vehicle, you don't call that armed robbery. There are tactics in armed robberies on that road. We know them. It's either they barricade the roads or they devise other means. Not when they just come out on the road and start shooting immediately. Go and look at his vehicle. Riddled with bullets. Only God saved him.
What about the unemployment rate in the state?
It has dropped tremendously. And the next 4 years of Comrade Governor, with the blueprint that he has in play, which is working for him, is targeting 113,000 employments. And it's going to attract $500 million investment into the state. There is this estate, the Hobo Industrial Estate, that is being proposed, and that will attract about 10,000 jobs for Edo youths. There is the 5-star hotel that intends to bring through private partnership, private-public partnership, that will attract about 500 jobs. There is this ultra-modern market, the Hobo, ultra-modern market, quite a number of them, that will attract about 13,000. By the time you sum it up in the economic blueprint that he has in place, about 113,000 jobs will be provided for those. And we are thinking that if that is done, even with the PPP 450 megawatts station that is being planned, that is already in the pipeline, we are hoping that Edo youths will be gainfully employed, will be out on the streets. But even as we speak, the employment rate is so high since he came on board, because before now they were embargo on employment, embargo on promotions. But go to Edo Civil Service and ask them. The story has been a totally different one.
How does Edo State ACN fit into the bigger picture of the ACN? I mean, considering the fact that if you look at the geopolitical arrangement now, Edo State is in the south-south, and, ACN is the more dominant party in the southwest. Do you feel alienated, sort of?
How can? Parties are governed by constitution and their manifesto. And once you subscribe to become a member of a party, you work with the constitution of the party. Of course, it is secondary to the Nigerian constitution, but it also derives its inspiration from that constitution. So there is no way, once you buy into that party, the ACN, there's no way it can be alienated. When this incident happened, all the leaders of the ACN visited the state governor. The governors also came. The leaders also came. That's to show spirit of camaraderie.
It's also very interesting to note that, he's also working in tandem with other PDP governors from other states. So the question is, if the relationship with the PDP is so raucous in Edo State itself, how is he able to maintain that relationship with other PDP governors from other states?
Of course, as an AC governor, is a member of the Nigerian Governors Forum. And it is expected that as member of the Nigerian Governors Forum, it is not automatic that all the members should be PDP. So there are ACN, there are ABGA. There is ABGA, there are ACN governors. That is one. Two, on the issue of development, like the BRACE Summit, Economic Summit in Delta, the governor cannot run away from that, because there's an agreement of minds that we need to develop. What is lacking is the ability of the opposition party to appreciate that a certain AC governor is developing Edo State, or a certain AC governor has improved on the quality of life, quality of social infrastructure, economic infrastructure, and what have you, of Edo State. Once there's an agreement that we need to develop, okay, you need 2 kilometers of road in a certain location, the man does it. What else are you looking for? So if you look at Edo State as we speak, the man did not say, Edo Central is a stronghold of Chief Tony Aneni. He didn't say that. Even though they didn't give him massive votes in his first term, he still went there and ensured that what he has to do in Edo South and Edo North is also replicated in Edo Central. That is a way of creating an equilibrium to the extent that everybody will appreciate that it is the state that is developing and not certain senatorial districts against the other.
Okay.
So
we've got a question for you from Niyi Sumonu. He's watching. He says we should ask you, how does Mr. Afegbua manage between ACN, Mr. Oshiomhole, and PDP, Mr. IBB, two opposing parties?
What he doesn't also understand is that I'm a member of the NDP. Tell Sumanu that I'm a member of the NDP. I am not a card-carrying member of the ACN.
That's another party.
Yes. What I do is a professional work. I'm a media consultant. I'm a media person. And I'm ready to do it anytime. And the PDP issued a statement earlier, about 2-3 weeks ago, saying that I have been donated to the ACN. I say, yes, with all pleasure, I'll be donated. And so, because they feel that once you're a PDP member, of course, I started from PDP as a staff of the national headquarters from inception. So quite a number of persons who are shouting Blue Mother today in PDP were actually not there at formation. So I'm proud to be a member of that small party called the NDP. I'm not going to be jumping from party to party in a manner that will remove from me my own ideological, persuasion or affiliation. So to that extent, I fit in very well because IBB is cosmopolitan. He has friends across political parties, and as we speak, he endorsed, the aspiration of the comrade governor. He gave me his blessing that please go and help the comrade governor in selling his achievements to the Edo people.
All right, then. We'll just do hope that the authorities, the police force will be, they've given them 2 weeks, and we'll hope for the best in those 2 weeks, and hope that PDP, I beg your pardon, the politics in Edo State will focus on issues and not personalities to the detriment of the people.
That will be the beauty of the kind of democracy we are craving for. Come up with superior argument on an issue. Think, go to your laboratory, come up with experiments that can help Edo State to discover itself. So far, in the last 2.5 years, we can say boastfully that this man has unleashed a tsunami kind of development in Edo State. And these are verifiable. There are things you can see. It is not paperwork. Go to Edo South, Edo Central, Edo North, you can see the comrade governor working. You can see schools that were once decayed, wearing new look as if they are university structures. You can see hospitals that were non-existent. You can see new structures being erected. You can see drugs everywhere. You can see water supply. You can see rural electrification. So many. So the comrade governor is coming from an advantageous position, and we hope that July 40 will just be more or less like a referendum.
Okay, then, well, we'll ask the people to get their voice heard. If you're watching from Edo State, just send us a comment or two. We'll appreciate all of that. But in the meantime, Kassim Afegbua, Director, Media and Publicity, Oshiomhole Campaign Organisation, thank you for coming on today.
It's a pleasure. And congratulations on this, your wonderful new site. This is my first appearance here.
Thank you.